What's going on today, everybody? Well, we're back at it again. It's been a little crazy last couple weeks for me. That's why I haven't been uploading. Sorry, but we're back on the grind, and today we're going to be actually installing a LED light bar on my Subaru. So I'm going to be driving a bunch this winter, going over snow passes, and I have to drive a long ways for work. So now I'm going to go ahead and put a light bar on it so I have actually something to see the road. Because my high beams work, but they don't work that great. Everything can always be better. And I've always liked the look of putting an LED bar on the Subaru. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got my bar sitting right here. We're going to go ahead, take a look at that, and then go ahead and start plugging away at getting this on the Subaru. Before we start this though, I'd like to please remind you guys, please subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And if you like what we're doing on this channel, leave a big thumbs up. As always, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and we'll get this light bar installed on our Subaru. Well, here it is. It's a 32-inch light bar, which actually measures a little bit shy of 32 inches, which is good because we've got an opening on the bottom of the Subaru right there that I want to put it in. So here's the bar. It's a curved bar, and it came with these mounting brackets. Now these mounting brackets are probably great, and they might work, maybe, but for what I need to make brackets that are a lot longer than this. So we're gonna go ahead and make some brackets that will fit up to maybe these, maybe to the sides, I don't know yet, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have to make some new brackets. But there's the LED light bar, and we'll go ahead and I'll try to show you what it's going to look like on the car. Well, this is kind of what the thought process is. This is where I want to put it, and it fits really, really nicely in there with very minimal modifications, but we do have to get rid of part of this cover that's back here just to get the brackets on, because on both sides it just barely goes into that bracket. And then if we go ahead and we pull this out, we can see that there's a center bracket and the two outside ones. Now if I didn't already have a mounting or a lift point right here that I welded on, I would just take this out and take probably this whole cover off and be able to sink it back into the bay a little bit more, and that way we'd have more of a mounting bracket that we can actually use. But since I've got this bracket back here, this is just for so I can lift the car up on the front. It's just tacked to my front beam, and I'll show you because I'm probably gonna take this off to get to most of this, but if I didn't have that, I'd probably set it back a lot further. But we got it, so work with what you got. I've already taken out our intake, main intake that sits right here, goes over there. Definitely need to clean that thing because it's getting gross. But 212s holding your radiator on, those need to come out. These 4 clips up front need to come off, and then our clips for each of the wheel wells. There should be one right here, you know, one right here, one right here, one right here, one right here. 4 total on this side. There might even be, yeah, there's one on the bottom in the back and one more up here, it feels like. So go ahead and get those undone so we can take this front bumper off. A couple flathead screwdrivers make this job pretty easy, one under each side. Go ahead and pop them all up. So when you're removing your radiator mounts, the 212s that are up on top, the radiator is going to come loose. That being said, it is held in on the bottom by pegs, so you can just loosen it and then let it kind of fall forward a little bit and take the brackets completely off. And it should be fine to just sit there for a minute. So this little pin is a little different than the other ones, as in it is actually a push style. So you go ahead and you push the little center in. Phillips works really good for this. Push it in. Then you can go ahead and pull this bit out. The whole thing will come out. To reset it, you just push the pin back through to where it's poking out. Now you can go ahead and put it back in. So there's 2 more clips hiding in the center on that bracket, and here's the center point and that bracket holding this on. So now we'll go ahead and do this side, and then the whole bumper will come off. So here you can see my dilemma. I've got this stinger that sticks down so I can put my jack on it to just jack the whole front of the car up. Well, that's just welded on the back here, and it's in the way. So can't quite put it back as far as I want to, but I can put it back pretty far. So looks like we'll have a couple of good spots to put some weld on there, fix some rust apparently, and get this thing in there. So this is the light setup that I had on there before, and they work great if they stayed flat, but the problem I have is that they would rub on the back side of this. So they sat in this mesh right here. They would rub on this back side right here, and that would push them back, which in turn would just, if I'm driving, they would just be pointed at the sky, so I wouldn't see a single thing. So I'm gonna go ahead, get rid of those, because they used to go right here, and now I'm gonna put one down here in this window. Managed to go ahead and get one side already pulled out. There's the piece, and it's definitely a much bigger gap in there now. So I was initially gonna just take this whole piece off because I thought it just came out, but it doesn't. So I just go ahead, clean this up, got it looking actually pretty decent. You can't even tell from right here, but just went ahead, and if you have a Dremel, you can use Dremel. I've just got an air cutoff wheel, cut it off, and then I went ahead with a file. I've got a file right here, little half and then half round file. Makes it easy on these corners, and cleaned it up a little bit. Last, hit it with a little bit of fire, and then had it perfect. Little update. So gone ahead and figured out where I want these. So I've got a new plan altogether. I was thinking about it, and I don't want to take that light off every time I want to take my bumper off. So I wanted to stick to my car. Well, in doing that, if I put these brackets right here, it actually works out perfect for where I need it. That way the brackets stay short, they're probably not gonna vibrate, because I was gonna have to go from back here all the way out to here to hold that light. So, figured out I can do it on the bumper. Now that's gonna entail me getting rid of this middle section, as well as cutting a couple little slits where this bracket can go through. So that piece right below that license plate delete sits really, really close to this. Actually, it looks like it might be touching because this is rubbing. So if that's touching, that's pretty good. That means we're really close. So we'll go ahead, we'll get this on, cut that center section out, and then we'll kind of figure out where these need to be in installation-wise. That will help me out a whole bunch. It'll just stay with the car. I won't have to take the bump or take the light off to take the bumper off, because it's going to be wired in, and I would have to do quick disconnect wires, and it's just a mess all around. So, gone ahead, made this, figured out where I want, and in order to do that, it would be really sweet if I had some nut certs or nut inserts to put in the bottom of this bracket right here, because I got you can see I've got the hole already drilled. So I could just put a nutsert in there and then just go to that and be done. Well, I don't have any with me that are that size. So I've gone ahead and made a little access window so I can get the nut on there, and then once I get the nut, I can get a wrench on there to hold it tight. Well, it's been a little bit of finagling and trying to get things kind of situated perfectly, but I managed to get the light bar mounted. As you can tell, it's mounted. I wired it up to the factory fog light. So the factory fog light plug is right basically where the fog light would go. It's a brown plug that has 2 wires going to it. Use your voltmeter to check which one's positive, negative, tie it into your light, positive and negative, and that's it. It should have a relay behind the fog lights, supplying power, so it's not just a switched power. So we should be good on that front. Managed to get everything kind of in where I need it to be. Now I gotta just dial in where I actually want the light pointed. So 2 things, I went ahead and I modified the bumper a little more. I took out that center core, that had to go. And then I also, there's some little notches that are on the bottom side of where the light would go that has like holes cut out of it already. The outside 2, I went ahead and just notched them completely open, and then I extended it more towards the front of the car, or the front of the bumper, like 1/2 inch. That was all that I needed to get those brackets on there, and now it fits just sleek right underneath that bumper. So we're gonna go ahead, final test it. Hopefully I can get the bumper on. I'll probably show you guys the bumper tomorrow. That way it's daylight and you guys can actually see something instead of just a black car at night. Can't really see much. So we'll go ahead and I'll get this, at least show you that it works, and get this bumper put back on it. So the factory fog light switch is right here, and you just toggle it on and off, and then your headlights are right out here. So if I go ahead and I turn my headlights on, so I've got headlights, well, I can turn my headlights off, and then if I turn the fog lights on, I've got my LED. Pretty slick. So there you can see that the fog light, or the LED bar, is on. And it's got a pretty good beam on her. But it's on. Time to put this bumper back on now. So here's a better picture of what's kind of going on here. Gone ahead and I've got my wires mounted up right here. And I went ahead and there was a plug just dangling down here. Since I don't have the lights in, it's just an open plug, so they don't have to make another loom. Just tied into that, and now I've got my bar in here, and my bar is mounted on there like that. I've got my access hole where I can get my wrench into. Now all I have to do is tighten that up, because that's where I want it, and then put that bumper back on. So here's one final look of the bumper on how I have it. Now this is a 32. You could get away with a shorter one and probably keep these sides, or I thought about also getting 2 small ones to split it, but I like the look of the one single big bar. So gone ahead, remove this side, remove this center pillar, remove this side, and these are the tabs that I was talking about. This tab looked like this one, but I went ahead and I modified it. I opened it up, so just cut the bottom out of it, and then managed to go up another 1/2 inch or so, just where the bar needs to sit. Did that on both sides, and now we should be good to go. There it is, final installation of the light bar. Well, I hope you guys found this video a little bit helpful. Maybe you can install a light bar on your Subaru or any car. really this is for any car. You just gotta find where you wanna mount it, how you're gonna hook it up. This is going off the factory stuff. They do make kits where you can make a button, put a button on your dash, but I don't have the fog lights. I had the switch already OEM integrated, so might as well just use what I have. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me today, guys. You enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Peace.